So, welcome to workshop 7. The title of this workshop is prototyping, but we're actually going to do something a little bit different today. It's going to be a fun workshop. It's going to be very, very different to the stuff that we've been doing over the past couple of weeks. I would love to request, if possible, I know that, some of us work from home, Udi's on, you maybe you're to your third bowl of cornflakes, but can I request that everyone have their cameras on if possible, because it's just going to make the engagement and sort of what we got planned a lot more fun if we can see everyone. So that would be lovely. So workshop 7, sort of a prototypey workshop today. I will let you guys know what that means. We're going to dabble into sort of what prototyping is and how you guys will have the opportunity to kind of think about if you were to prototype what you'd be doing. But it's kind of have a networking focus, a bit of a get to know each other, because we think this is important now that you're coming into sort of, making your story, coming together, finalizing your narrative. All of this sort of helps in the context of storytelling when you know who you're working with and yeah, we haven't really had an opportunity to stop and pause and kind of collectively come together and sort of see how everyone's feeling. So we're going to play a bit of a game where I'm going to get you guys to whip up your phones. We're going to be using a platform called Slido. If you guys aren't familiar with Slido, it's just an app where you can ask questions and excuse me. Excuse me. It's just an app where we can ask questions, and I'm going to play a series of ringtones and you guys will have to guess what they are. So we're all familiar with QR codes. If you whip your phones out and scan the QR code, it will take you to a series of questions. Now I'm going to play a series of tones and you guys will have to guess what the ringtone is. So some of you guys, it might bring about a bit of nostalgia, but let's see how we go. Let me just bring up the slider for you guys. I'm just going to reshare my screen so you guys can hear my sound. So, sorry, so that didn't go to plan. Bear with me one moment. So I'm going to play the tune now. Hopefully be familiar to everyone, but all right. Hopefully, if my thing works. What is the ringtone? Hopefully in 2 years of COVID, that one might be a bit easier to identify. If not, I'm a bit concerned what people have been doing, what platform people have been using. Let's show the results. I can understand why some people picked Facebook because it's very similar, but that is indeed correct. It is Microsoft Teams. Now I'm going to play the second one. Oh my goodness, what is going on? Bear with me one moment. Guess this one. I'll replay it again. Alrighty. So, what tone is that?
I feel like I haven't even heard it before.
It is indeed Google Hangouts. Okay. One more. What is the ringtone? Throwback to anyone on the call. Wow, people went to that one very quickly. That is indeed Skype. We got one more. Sorry guys, it's a bit fiddly toggling between different Slidos. One lucky last one. I'm pretty sure that was the tone of my phone in like year 7.
Thank you for the busted eardrum there, Rads.
You're welcome. That is indeed the Nokia. So I think most people got all of these correct. So congratulations, you know your ringtones. So the next activity we've got planned is we're going to have a bit of a scavenger hunt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you guys to grab a bunch of things, and you guys will either draw them or take a photo of them if you can't grab them. But ideally, if you have them in your house or the office, go out and grab them and show them to the screen. The first thing, we're going to whip through this really quick because we don't have much time. The first thing I would like you guys to grab in your house is something that is either orange or green. And if possible, show it to your screen. Let me put the grid up so I can see everyone. Ah, you guys did that quickly. Looks like everyone has a lot of green things. Amazing. For people that don't have their screens on, I'm very sad. I cannot see Alex, Purnima, Hayden, Jack. If you're able to, I would love to see all your lovely faces. Amazing. Next thing that we've got, something with your work branding on it. Everyone seems to have found something. We love it. We love the GHD bag. Drink bottles. We love to see it. Lanyards, yes. Amazing. You guys are flying through this. And finally, and this is, I guess, more applicable. Is that a t-shirt, Kay? If possible, this is more for the people working from home, something you've bought from overseas or interstate. And if you don't have it with you, draw it and upload it in the chat.
Ben, is that a cable?
Yeah, I've got an iPhone cable that I bought over in Europe when I lost my old one.
Amazing.
It's pretty standard. You can get them anywhere.
I love it. Sounds like there was a story behind it.
Oh, it's been around for a while. It's a bit mangled.
Isaac, do you want to share what yours is?
Yeah, it's a jacket I got made when I was in China.
Oh, amazing. Jack, what's yours?
I have a fortune cookie thing saved in the back of my phone. It's kind of funny. It says aim for compassion, not perfection. I don't know how, I think I've had it for years in my phone case.
Amazing.
That's from being in state, actually.
Lovely. Anyone else? Haneen, would you like to share?
The mute just does not want to unmute. Anyways, this is a Palestinian branded mask from Jordan that my family got me. So I guess it wasn't me, but they got it for me when they came to visit.
Lovely. Does anyone else have any items they would love to share that they've got around them? Oh my God, Kay, what is that?
Essentially, I'd never buy things at airports, but I begrudgingly paid, I think, $40 Australian for essentially a cookie box with cookies in it from the Philippines, but I just couldn't resist. Like, I was in the airport for 3 hours and I just walked past it about 47 times. And in the end, I was like, fuck it, I'll buy it.
Amazing. I have this glass cup. I come from I don't know if you can see it. I come from a Malaysian household, and when you go to Malaysia, they serve you tea in this. So my grandma only drinks from these cups. So that's what I have, because she lives with us. Thanks everyone. So the next thing we're gonna do is have a bit of, and like I said, there's kind of a social element to today's workshop. So bit more fun than the other workshops, less of me talking. So we're going to play a little bit of chat roulette. So what that's going to look like is you guys are going to be put into breakout rooms with people that aren't your usual team members, and you'll have 15 minutes to get to know one another, chat to them. It might be about in the context of this project, it might not be. It's completely up to you, but you've got 15 minutes to go around the room and get to know people before we come back.
The breakout rooms are open if you want to jump into them.
Is this Caitlin from Sydney Water?
I've just popped her in a room.
Ah, perfect. That's fine.
Annalise, I didn't assign you a room. Did you want me to pop you in a room?
Caitlin's in a room.
Sorry, I was just running back to my desk. No, it's okay. I'm happy just sort of listening in, unless you want me specifically for something. But no, I'm cool. Just
that's all good.
I'm just working in the background. That's all.
Okay, no, all good.
No worries.
Cheers, thanks.
There's Caitlin with a K is in a room by herself, so I'm just going to move her.
Yeah, sounds good.
Depending on how this one goes, I don't know if we'll need chat roulette B if it goes terribly. Like if one of you can go around and see and pray it's not like meetings of silence, but if it is, then I can pivot and we can use that time for something else.
I mean, maybe with the second one, if they need more guidance, we can get them to, I mean, that's the point of the 3 chat boxes though, so they have something specific to talk about. This one was more, I don't know if we should have given them more context around why we're just randomly throwing them together, but I will jump into some of the rooms and see how they go. Cool. Also because they've got 15 minutes, so
it's not really that much time.
Yeah. All right. I'll jump in.
I think it should be okay, but yeah, I might jump. Can I jump too? Yeah, I can. kicked myself out of the meetings. That's great.
You kicked yourself out.
Yeah, of
That's impressive.
like done.
I might just close the breakout rooms a minute early or something, 2 minutes early.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope everyone found that a bit fun, getting to know some other people in the group and just not about a work context and actually just figuring out who's who in the zoo, I guess, for the past 10 weeks, 7 weeks. Let me just share my screen. So there'll be multiple rounds of, sorry, bear with me. I think something has happened. Okay. So there'll be multiple rounds of chat roulette today where you guys will get to speak about different things to the other participants in the program, which is good. But for now, we're going to jump onto mural. And today we're not going to be, you'll get a chance to work on your individual murals, but we're going to pop a link on the chat very soon. And if you could click on that link on either Microsoft Mozilla Firefox or Google Chrome, we're going to be working on a shared mural today. So we can see everyone's responses and work together collectively as a group. So the board that you'll be linked to will look something like this. Can you guys see my screen and see the board? Wonderful. Sorry, guys, I have 4 screens in front of me, so balancing them all sometimes gets a bit tricky. Okay, so you see a board, this board here. So what we're going to do is individually reflect on the questions below and write your answers. So what are some of the strategies you use to unwind or manage stress? This is an individual activity, so you'll see a little space there to pop your name in. What is something new that you're learning this year? And further down here, as we have gone through the design thinking process over these workshops, you guys have had a taste of the design thinking process in the context of your challenges. How do you think, based off the theory and execution that you guys have done, you could use design thinking in your work or life or within the community? So I've left some post-it notes at every stage of the diamond that we've discussed. Do you think that there's an opportunity for you to use the research skills that you've learned in a part of your life, or the insight skills that you've learned in a part of your life, be it professional or personal? So we'd love to know your thoughts. So I'm going to set a timer for 7 minutes on the board. And yeah, let's see what everyone comes up with.
Shout out if anybody's got any issues accessing the mural link. I've just posted a new one on there in case the first one wasn't working.
Okay, guys, apologies. I've been battling some tech issues, so if the music did drop off for you guys in between, very sorry. So we are at time, but now you're going to have the opportunity to reflect on these questions and go into chat roulette too. So this will be a new bunch of people that aren't in your current team. So if you haven't completely finished, don't worry, you'll have the opportunity to talk through your ideas in the second chat roulette. So why we're doing this is that this is not only about us teaching you about design thinking and applying it to real world challenges, it's also about increasing your network, understanding who different people in the room are, and also just enjoying this experience as well. So now in this second chat roulette, you have the opportunity to play back your thoughts. So how do you manage stress? What is something you're learning? And how you would use the design thinking framework in your professional or personal life. If you get stuck at all, just feel free to give me or Laura or Kay a ping, but we'll just be floating around in the various breakout rooms. So just give us a hoy if you need anything. But the second chat roulette is now going to open and you guys will have 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. Welcome back, everyone. Have we got everyone in the room, Kay?
Yeah, I think so.
Amazing. So before we go off on a quick break for 5 minutes, I just wanted to touch base with everyone. It's been a bit of a different workshop this week. How we all feeling? How was that exercise for you guys?
It was good, actually. Wasn't sure what we needed to have prepared for this session, so it was nice to just start with not needing to prepare anything. But also, yeah, I just feel like a bit more relaxed having spent some time just socializing. So it was nice to, yeah, meet people.
Love it. Also, just to on that point, guys, the only thing that you guys needed to prepare for this session was your storyboards and your storytelling canvases from last week. So just having that really refined. So if you haven't done anything other than that, then you're totally cool. Anyone else have anything that they'd like to share before we jump on break?
Oh yeah, it's been good talking to people from other groups and being like, oh, we're all sort of in the same similar boat of where we are in the process of like running along to get everything done. It's like, oh, okay, like we sort of are all in a similar area and facing similar problems and similar, yeah, which has been good.
Awesome, thanks, Isaac. Any final shares before we go out? I know everyone's itching to grab a cup of tea, but anyone else? Alrighty then. Well, with that being said, I will share my screen with a 5-minute timer, and everyone, yeah, go get a cup of tea, not get a cup of tea. You can sit here and chat too. I don't mind, but your time starts now. A bit of what prototyping actually means and why we prototype. But before we get kick-started on that, I wanted to get your thoughts on when we're discussing prototyping. Bear with me one moment, guys. My screen is being annoying. Okay, you guys should be able to see my screen now, yes? Yep. So when we're discussing prototyping in the chat, or just come off mute, it doesn't have to type it out. When you guys hear the word prototyping, what comes to mind, or what do you think of? Like, I know that we've had some chats, but in your mind, where you are now, and there are no wrong answers, what does prototyping mean to you? Oh, the chat is going off. Oh. Testing, yes, testing an idea or concept, correct. So it can designing iterations on a journey to the final design, yes. Feel free to jump off mute too, guys. So essentially you're testing to see, developing a minimum viable products by testing. Yep. Checking the legitimacy of a project. I love that one, Crystal, because that's so true. You're trying to see if this would work. It's not something that's perfect. So I love that answer. So when we're prototyping, and I mentioned this previously, it's about creating a tangible outcome of what your solution would look like. So if we were to make this, how would it go? Would it work? And I guess prototyping is different. When we prototype, there are ways to do it effectively. So how not to build a minimum viable product. So in this first example, it's not building an MVP or a prototype well, because it's missing feedback opportunities. You're starting with a wheel, then you've got 2, then you've got 3, and you're building a product, but there's no opportunity for feedback, or is that the most appropriate way to do it? You're not starting off with a comprehensive first draft first. It's sort of bits and pieces, if that makes sense. The second example isn't meeting the needs of the customer. If they need a car, a scooter won't be a viable replacement. So the third is building a minimal viable product, because you've created a practical solution first, and that differentiates between line 1 and line 3, for which you've continuously gotten feedback and iterated it from the voice of the user and the needs of the customer. If there's anything you want to take away from prototyping, is that your prototype solution needs to reflect the needs and wants of your users and what that data that you've collected is saying. So that's imperative. Now, when we prototype, there are various ways of prototyping. And I think something I'd like to caveat when we run through the Smart Seeds program is that this program isn't particularly designed for you to develop a final legit product or hardcore prototype to then deliver and scale. It's more to give you a flavor of, if you were to go out or after this program and design an idea of your own, these are some of the ways that you could prototype, but in no means I guess the point of Smart Seeds is for you to get a flavor of design thinking and how it would work in the real world in context of your challenges, and then putting all that thinking into the pitch that you guys are about to develop, which will touch on your solution and how you go about it. But in terms of implementing it in the real world, that is something that we don't really cover in this course, but there are heaps out there that do discuss this in great depth. So how to prototype? So there's so many ways, and I feel like prototyping, it can be such a loaded term. You know, you see a lot of like high fidelity mock-ups and stuff, but prototyping can be as simple as you getting a bunch of paddle pop sticks and putting it together to see if a particular product would work. You can diagram it. So you can, storyboarding is a form of prototyping. You're testing your storyboard to see if it makes sense. You can create wireframes or mock-ups. Outside of this, outside of my 9-to-5, for example, I'm part of a accelerator, and we're currently at the pitch stage as well. And one of the other candidates is creating a solution for wound care. So her pitch deck had so many mock-ups of how her app would operate, which was really cool to see. Story. So when you're prototyping, you can test, you can create wireframes or create a document and play that back to people to see if they relate to your story. That is a form of prototyping. You can role play your solution to see if it would work, if it's a service, for example, or it's something that enhances a customer experience. You can role play the interactions with, and bring your solution in to see if it's viable or not. And creating advertisements. These are all various ways. So when you hear prototyping, it doesn't necessarily have to be something whiz bang. It can be as simple as getting a piece of paper, drawing something out and testing it with someone. Does anyone have any questions or comments before I move forward? Okay, so this is a draw me a story activity that will kind of get you familiar with the concept of prototyping as a concept. So grab yourself a piece of paper and a pen if you have one. And I'll let everyone take a minute to get a piece of paper if they don't have one. Just type in like a thumbs up or a good to go in the chat if you're good, so I know. Amazing. Sweet. Oh yeah, that's an even better way. Just thumbs up to the camera. All right. Seeing a fair few thumbs up, so I'm going to continue. So on this piece of paper, draw 3 rectangles and make sure that they're big enough to take up the entire page. Then fill in the rectangles with a cartoon conveying your future coffee experience, where your barista is a robot. So try it in these 3 boxes to capture what it feels like from you ordering your coffee to then finally receiving your coffee. So you've got 3 boxes there. Try and capture what it feels like for you, the coffee drinker, and what makes this experience particularly unique. So I'm just going to give everyone 5 minutes to draw out their experience. I'll play some thinking music. And when time's up, Laura will pop it in the chat. So you're drawing out the whole experience of you interacting with a robotic barista. Okay, everyone, we are at time. How was that experience for everyone? Does anyone would like to put their paper up to the screen and share their ideal coffee experience where their barista would be a robot? Don't all chime in at once, because then I will pick someone. Well, Isaac, care to share?
I ran out of time for the last one, but the idea was it would be super quick. So I have a guy talking, saying to the coffee bot I'm trying to put it there. So the coffee bot 3000, ordering a coffee, no sugar, robot, beep boop, say less. I'm so fast because I've got a coffee machine inside me. And then there was the friendly customer experience, but I ran out of time to draw that at the end.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. Coffee bot 3000. Would someone else like to share? I'm going to pick on someone because the same lovely people keep so we want to hear from different people as well. So Genevieve, how did you find this activity?
Okay, goodness. Was not expecting to be called on, so please forgive me. And actually, I feel like mine might be a little bit unexpected, I think, for the program. I'm not an artist by any means.
Fine.
Okay, so I have like stick figures. So anyway, there it is. But I think it might go easier if I talk to it, which is I imagined very much the same situation as what you get when you go into a McDonald's now. So you go in and you hit buttons on a screen and then move along, a line up, and then a vending machine dispenses my coffee. So I was actually kind of picturing the same kind of McDonald's ordering experience going through with the coffee. So appreciate that might be something different to what to what other people have delivered, and certainly what Isaac delivered, but that was what came to mind for me.
I love it. Thank you so much. Stephen, what was your coffee experience like?
Hello. Went for sort of like a yay the future type approach. So I don't know where that's going to focus. No, let's not having a bar of that.
Just talk to us through it.
So the first one was me walking towards a robot, all sad and tired. Then it goes beep, beep. Then it goes kapow, coffee, makes a coffee. And then I'm happy, the sun's shining, and I have a coffee. That's pretty much it.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Stephen. Notice how we've all prototyped a solution, but the experience of the solution, or how you guys see the solution playing out, was very different for everyone. Some different people highlighted different things of that experience, and generally that's as a result of the experiences you have and what you value as important. So whether you guys realize it or not, that was your that you guys just prototyped. You know, if someone wants to go out and now make a coffee 3000, you guys have prototyped some kind of experience or solution of what that would look like. So I think a bit of myth busting there, that prototype needs to be a big, long, convoluted, whiz bang, waterfall, perfect thing. It doesn't. You know, sometimes it just starts with a bunch of pieces of paper being like, check this out. What do you think? What are your thoughts? And building from there. So don't, if the concept of prototyping feels uneasy or a bit too big, just know that, you know, when you break things down, as with a lot of things, it's a lot easier. So a practical example of prototyping is one that we had with our client. And I thought I would share sort of what each stage looked like, so you have an idea of the prototyping, I guess, how it's run in an actual project. So for this particular client in the transport sector, we ran a series. The focus of this was bus disruptions, and sort of educating and allowing people to know, having a chatbot to know when bus disruptions are happening, and I guess informing, so customers can sort of plan their travel journey in advance and not run into sort of the complication of getting somewhere to realize, oh my goodness, my main mode of transport has now changed, and make arrangements on the fly. So this allowed people to be a bit more organized. So the empathy stage involved running a series of empathy interviews with commuters and completing ethnographic research by riding the buses during the disruption period. So this chatbot was meant to help during the bus disruption period. If you hear a lot of noise, I apologize. There are tradies opposite my street, but they're not blasting Shakira, which is good. Define. So redefine the challenge statement to focus on transparency, communication, and personalization. So from the research, it was gathered that this was important to commuters when during bus disruptions. Ideate. So they looked to leading practice and developed nearly 30 ideas with the different stakeholders, and they narrowed it down to one, which was this app. So when we developed this chatbot, sorry, I shouldn't say app, chatbot, the prototype was, they developed both low fidelity and high fidelity prototypes, which is the chatbot, which we then tested with users, and this ended up getting launched. So the disruption chatbot was something that we were involved in, and yeah, it's just an example of practically how one would prototype, or what prototyping would look like on a project. So we are now going to do something a little bit different. So we had our networking sort of moment of the workshop today, where we all got to get to know each other a bit more. Apologies if there's delay in my speaking. I've got 4 screens on, so I'm trying to figure out which screen to look at first. What we're going to do now is do the final round of chat roulette. And what that's going to look like is, I'm going to need you guys to go back to your boards and focus on the, if this loads for me, the storytelling canvases and storyboards that you guys would have refined between the last workshop and this workshop. And for this chat roulette, we're going to split you guys into groups. And in that group, it should be you and someone else from another team, and perhaps a third member, depending on which breakout group you're in. And what we're going to get you to do is, we're going to get you, because you guys have been here for 7 weeks. It's a long time. You know, we've all got to know each other. We've all learned a lot, which is amazing. But now is the opportunity for you guys to test your knowledge and apply your knowledge, but from the lens of critiquing someone else's work. So what we're going to do now is, we're going to pop you into breakout groups where you'll have 20 minutes. How you use that 20 minutes is up to you, but a good rule of thumb or suggestion is that you present your storyboard for your team for 5 minutes. Then you allow the person to give you around 5 minutes of feedback and critique, and then you swap around. So this is giving you the opportunity to practice your pitch, your storyboarding, get some feedback on your storyboarding from other people that are in the same process as you, and then swap that experience. And what I ask you guys to do is on your storyboards, because multiple of you will be presenting and getting feedback, is jot down your post-it notes at the bottom or around the story area that they give you your feedback, but pop your name on that particular post-it note so your other team members know where that feedback is coming from and whose post-it note it is, in case you need to go back and refine your storyboards and you don't want to be looking at a whole bunch of post-it notes going, what does that actually mean and who actually wrote that there? So you'll have 20 minutes in this breakout to get to get feedback and exchange, going through your storyboarding and also going through your storytelling canvas. So that whole idea of what do you want, what's your target audience currently thinking, feeling, seeing, doing versus how you would like them to respond post your pitch. So both sets of storytelling canvas and storyboarding, you'll have the opportunity to showcase to someone else and get some feedback. So before we pop you into your final breakout groups for this afternoon, does anyone have any questions? And we're running a bit ahead of time, so we might be able to give you a bit more than 20 minutes just in these breakout groups, so you can take them through both sets of canvases and get feedback. But does anyone have any questions? All right, if there are no questions, we'll start to pop you into your feedback. And a word of advice, in a nicest way possible, don't hold back, because as someone that is also going to get feedback and provide feedback, you also want the other person to be honest. Obviously, please be respectful and kind to the other person, but don't hold back on sort of your ideas and applying what you guys have learned to the other person. I was like, wow. Welcome back, everyone. How did you guys, the next couple of minutes that we have between now and finishing up is sort of just a bit of a group playback. So a bit of a, am I sharing my screen? Wonderful, of course I am. A bit of a group playback. How's everyone feeling? How did you find today's session? So for this part in particular, I would really value if everyone had their cameras on, because we've done a lot of discussing today. You guys had the opportunity to play back your story to someone else to get an external point of view, or that also someone that has also gone through the process with you and learned the content, which is awesome. So how was it? How was it actually taking someone through your storyboard?
I think it went pretty well. I had a chance of like going through our own storyboard without the presence of my team, which was new. So it was good just going through that, and then I got some really good feedback as well. So I'll be pitching that to my team. So it's good to be exposed to people who have other areas of knowledge, like in the team that the people you were pitching to are in. And yeah, I think I took a bit too long because I didn't expect us to finish this early, and the person who was pitching to me didn't get to finish, which I felt bad about.
Once you get talking, it does take a while, but each of you had like 27 minutes, I think.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Pitching, every time anyone pitches, they always say time goes by so quickly. But it's great to hear, Haneen. Any obstacles or weird challenges you found through going through that process?
Just the fact that the whole team inputted stuff into this. So obviously we went through the storyboarding together, but like the storytelling canvas, just like trying to go through it and explain it, it's good to see again what everyone else on my team had put in. But yeah, just explaining it. I feel like obviously doing it as a whole team will fill in all of the knowledge gaps.
And it's a good way to see how much of the process, because obviously everyone comes together to fill it out, but then how much you know and what your gaps are. Because like the reality is in a real world, any of you could be pitching your collective solution, right? So whether it's you or someone else, they'll be like, get on the floor and tell us what your solution is. So awesome feedback, Haneen. Thank you so much. Anyone else like to share their experiences? Ideally, not someone that has gone previously, because there are lots of you here this afternoon. Otherwise, I'll pick on you.
I'm happy to chat. I have really dodgy internet though, so if I disappear, I'm really sorry.
That's okay. Go for it, Alex.
I was paired with Crystal, and even though we were in different groups, we actually had gone through quite a similar process, and Crystal's team was the kind of consultation piece, and I guess that's something that our team initially got stuck on. So it was kind of interesting to go through what they'd struggled with and how they'd come out the other side and be able to provide feedback on how you can get through those stuck points. But yeah, I thought being able to have a fresh set of eyes and kind of chat through our solution and how we got there was really beneficial.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Alex. Anyone else like to share their experiences? Did you find it valuable? Did you find it a waste of time? Was it good to practice going through your storyboard before the big pitch? There are obviously some workshops between now and then, but still. Go for it, Vinny.
Yeah, I thought it was really good because you got the opportunity to talk about your, your solution without your team members, which meant you had to know what you were talking about, or be present, or have an input in it, which was really good because, like, it helps you get clarity. In terms of the presentation we just ran with, like, it helped me sort of realize that there's a lot of things that I need to be clear about and go back and refer to. So yeah, that was really helpful, especially for the final pitch that's coming up.
Thanks, Vinny. Anyone else like to share what they found or what they didn't find, or just their experiences of today and then going through it with someone else? All right, then. Caitlin with a K, how did you find the process?
Jump on. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. As Vinny said, we had to really have a really good understanding as to our challenge question and the process we've gone through. I find that we've been talking with our group a lot about our challenge question, and we've sort of finally narrowed our vision as to what we're going to focus on. And so to bring it back into that big picture with someone and giving someone like full context of how our little piece fits in the big picture was really good. And yeah, definitely be talking to my team about that.
Awesome.
Thanks for catch up.
I love how you articulated that yourself and everyone else, because at the end of the day, when you are pitching a particular angle or solution of how you're going to respond to your challenge. So if anything, the idea of this process is to allow you to see, number one, have you really zoomed in and narrowed accordingly to how you're going to respond to your challenge? And two, like many of you mentioned, because it's a team effort, where are the gaps in your own knowledge and what do you need to brush up on to understand your solution in a bit more of a holistic manner? So the key homework for this session, and we'll send this out to you guys as well, is to incorporate all of your feedback that each of you had received as a team into refining your storyboard and canvas. And the reason why I keep drawing you guys back to this particular two frameworks is that this is essentially going to be the foundation of your pitch. This is essentially what's going to help you. It's like writing an essay, your essay is as good as your structure. So this structure will help you translate this into your pitching, and ideally help you with your content that you provide to IdeaWorks too, as to where you want them to help you in terms of video production and editing and etc. On that note, I might pass it down to Kay just to remind everyone what's required, or if you guys have any questions about interacting with IdeaWorks and how you want to share your content, I might give the floor to Kay so you guys can ask questions, and she can remind you guys of sort of how that interaction works.
No problems. Thanks, Rads. I will be super quick. So what we want to do essentially on Thursday is to take a snapshot of your storyboard canvas on each of your team boards. So that's one per team. Send it to InspireWorks and say, hey, this is each of the team's, I suppose, vision and key messages that they want to put forth in their pitch video. So again, part of the things that you're doing with the storyboard is really being quite focused on what you want the audience to know and how you want them to feel. So there is that kind of logic and emotion that goes hand in hand with it, and be super clear. You only have 2 minutes essentially to capture someone's attention and give them all that they need to know about your solution and why, and make them feel like, how has this not existed before, because we really need it, kind of situation. As well as if you were on the other side, you're an investor in the field of your solution, is this a solution that you would reach out to for investment or for partnership? If it feels like there's a lot of holes that, you know, even if you say there's only 2 minutes, it can't cover everything. If there feels like there's massive holes in how you deliver your value proposition or how it's going to work or what the kind of impact will be, it will leave the audience feeling like, oh, I'm not sure if, you know, I've got the full picture of what it is. So think about that as you do your storyboard. Going to take a snapshot of that, send that to InspireWorks, and then we will send you, we don't want to overload you on that, so just focus on that, and then we'll send you some more info via email about how to work with InspireWorks. So like use that that tool to comment on the video draft, etc., as well as some prep for the pitch practice workshop, but don't worry too much about that one for now. I think just focus on your storyboard. That's it.
I've got a quick question about videos. So with the videos, like I know that we're supposed to reach out to that company, but let's say if we know how to edit videos, if we were to take snapshots from existing videos, is that considered sort of plagiarism or whatever, or do we need original content?
Yeah, awesome question. So essentially with InspireWorks, and don't worry, like we've got a production manager who will be working with each of us. So we'll send you like their details and how to work with them. So don't worry about finding their details somewhere on the internet. In terms of stock footage, stock video. So if you wanted to, you can take your own footage. So that might be footage of yourselves, as well as that kind of voiceover and narrative that each of you will put in it. But if you wanted to walk down your street because you wanted to get some kind of just background footage of something, you definitely can. If you wanted to use some of the quotes from your interviewees, like of them talking, if you feel like that will make an impact, if you include that in your 2-minute video, with their permission, you can as well. InspireWorks has access to a library of stock videos, stock music, and stock photos. So essentially, if you want to use their services, you can say, you know, at this point, we want to show the floods of 2022 and just, you know, have some visual emotive image behind that, and they can find that for you. They'll also give you a link to access that library if you wanted to search for something specific and let them know, please use this picture, for example, or you draw something for them, like just sketch out the robot and say, just maybe tidy it up. And if they go, oh, you know, it's too artistic and they won't be able to do it, they'll communicate it with you beforehand to see how they can represent it during your video. But in the meantime, I will drop this to you. I'll drop it in the chat. I'll drop it in my next email as well, which is just the YouTube channel of Smart Seeds, where the past videos are kept. Some of you, I think, have already gone through and had a look. Again, it is not about making the most whiz-bang, like slick reel. It is really about how do you communicate that message. And if you're really handy on iMovies and you really wanted to kind of do this yourself, you're welcome to, but I'd say please make use of the production team that we have to help you as well.
Conscious of time, everyone. Does anyone have any questions? If not, if they percolate in your mind between now and the next workshop, please do not feel scared to chuck me or Kay a email. We'll answer ASAP. Also happy to do some office hours between now and the next workshop if you guys want for myself or Kay to audit your storyboards, just get some one-on-one feedback, get our thoughts. If you want to soundboard anything between now and then, as always, that's always an open option for you guys. Our emails and contact numbers are in our email signatures. So even if you want to pick up the phone and give us a call, that's fine too. But until the next workshop, if there are no questions right now, I might just leave it at that.
Thanks, guys.
All right then.
You've been awesome today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Have a great rest of the week, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah.